Welcome back to Weirdest World, where the strange isn't just possible, it's probable. Today we're traveling back nearly 900 years to a quiet village in medieval England, where two mysterious children appeared out of nowhere, green-skinned, speaking an unknown language and claiming to come from a Twilight world. This is the true and baffling tale of the Green Children of Woolpit, and if you stay with me until the end, I'll reveal a weird fact about this story that most people have never heard, one that might just make you question everything you thought you knew about folklore history and reality itself. The story begins in the 12th century during the reign of King Stephen, who ruled England from 1135 to 1154. It was a time of civil unrest known as the Anarchy, a period marked by political chaos, famine, and war. In the midst of this turmoil lies the village of Woolpit, located in Suffolk, East Anglia, about 7 miles east of Bury St Edmunds. The name Woolpit comes from wolf pit, Old English for wolf pit, referring to deep traps dug to catch wolves that once roamed the countryside. It was near one of these pits in the middle of a summer's day that villagers stumbled upon something truly bizarre. According to two near-contemporary chroniclers, William of Newburgh and Ralph of Coggeshall, the villagers discovered two young children, a boy and a girl, wandering near the wolf pits. They were dressed in strange, unfamiliar clothing, spoke a language no one could understand, and most shockingly, their skin was green. Not pale green or sickly green, vivid vegetable green. The villagers were stunned. The children appeared frightened and confused, and they refused all food offered to them. Days passed, and the children grew weaker, until someone offered them raw, broad beans. To everyone's surprise, they devoured them ravenously, eating them straight from the stalk. Eventually, the children were taken in by a local landowner named Sir Richard de Calne, who lived nearby. Under his care, they slowly adapted to their new life. Over time, they began to eat other foods, and as their diet changed, their green hue faded. Tragically, the boy, who had always seemed sickly, died shortly after being baptized. The girl, however, survived and thrived. She learned to speak English and was eventually named Agnes. According to Ralph of Coggeshall, she was considered very wanton and impudent, which in medieval terms meant she was lively, bold, and perhaps a bit mischievous. Once she could communicate, Agnes was asked where she and her brother had come from. Her answer was as strange as her arrival. She said they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, a twilight world where the sun never shone and everything was bathed in a greenish glow. In one version of the story, she claimed that everything in their homeland was green, including the people. In another, she described a luminous land separated from theirs by a wide river. She said they were tending their father's flock when they heard a strange sound like bells and suddenly found themselves in Woolpit. It was as if they had been transported through a tunnel or a trance, emerging in a world completely alien to them. Agnes eventually integrated into English society. She continued to live with Sir Richard de Calne for many years and later married a man named Richard Barr, who was the Archdeacon of Ely. Some accounts even suggest that she had children, meaning her strange legacy may have lived on in the bloodlines of East Anglia. So what could explain the Green Children of Woolpit? Over the centuries, scholars, folklorists, and scientists have proposed a wide range of theories. One of the most popular is that the children were suffering from a condition called chlorosis, a form of iron deficiency anemia that can cause the skin to appear greenish. This would explain their unusual color and their recovery after eating iron-rich foods. But that doesn't account for their strange language, their clothing, or their story of a twilight world. Another theory is that the children were Flemish immigrants. During the 12th century, many Flemish people were fleeing persecution and settling in England. It's possible the children had become lost or orphaned, and their language was simply Flemish, which the villagers didn't recognize. Their green skin could have been the result of malnutrition, and their story of St. Martin's Land might have been a confused reference to a nearby Flemish settlement. But then there are the more fantastical explanations. Some believe the children came from a subterranean world, perhaps a hidden civilization beneath the earth. Others suggest they were extraterrestrials, accidentally transported to medieval England through some kind of portal. The idea of a parallel dimension where twilight reigns and everything is green has inspired countless works of fiction, including Herbert Reed's 1935 novel The Green Child, which reimagines the legend as a surreal allegory. The story has also appeared in Robert Burton's The Anatomy of Melancholy, Bishop Francis Godwin's The Man in the Moon, and even in modern cryptozoology discussions. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the tale of the Green Children continues to captivate imaginations, serving as a symbol of medieval fears, social integration, and the enduring power of storytelling. And now, as promised, here's the weird fact about the Green Children of Woolpit that most people don't know. In 1996, a group of researchers studying medieval folklore uncovered a curious detail in the writings of Ralph of Coggeshall. He mentions that the children claimed to hear a sound like bells before they arrived in Woolpit. That detail, bells triggering a sudden transportation, has appeared in other folklore accounts across Europe, including stories of fairy abductions, time slips, and even alien encounters. In fact, in some modern UFO abduction cases, witnesses report hearing a strange humming or chiming sound just before losing consciousness or waking up in a different place. Could the Green Children's story be one of the earliest recorded accounts of a dimensional shift, or even a close encounter? Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this episode of Weirdest World, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss another deep dive into the strange and unexplained. And let me know in the comments, do you think the Green Children were real, victims of disease, lost immigrants, or something far more mysterious? Until next time, stay curious, stay weird,